A new chapter in Jamaican sports kicked off this week with the official launch of the National Tackle Football Association, the NTFA, and will culminate in a highly anticipated All-Jamaica Gridiron Bowl this Saturday, the 19th of April, that is, at Jamaica College's Ashenheim Stadium. The week-long rollout began on Monday with a full-contact training session at the UWI's Mona Bowl, and will be followed by a player evaluation in Mandeville on Thursday, with the official draft taking place Friday night at the Jamaica College Auditorium. Now, on Saturday, approximately 80 of the country's best young athletes ages 18 to 21 will take the field at the Ashenheim Stadium. They will split into two teams, Team Blue and Team Grey, with scouts from the National Collegiate Athletic Association, the NCAA programs, professional leagues, and even the National Football League, the NFL, watching closely. The athletes will be scouted for NCAA and Canadian scholarships, with some earning US $25,000 to $500,000 annually through pro contract deals. Join us in studio to tell us more, Dr. Mark James, former football coach at Virginia Union University, Athletes in Action Chief of Staff Devon McDonald, and President of the NTFA, Jordan Basket. Jordan and your colleagues, welcome to the SportsMax Zone. Great to have you. Great to have you here. Let me start with you, Jordan, as president, because this is a sort of a new dawning for the sport. Can you talk to us more about that? Yeah.
So we've been playing for about the last 5 years, and we're starting to get very serious locally, as well as to get a lot of attention. We actually had a player last year qualify for the international program to actually qualify to potentially make an NFL team. So we're seeing a lot of action, and I was out there the other day, and the kids are way fast, very fast, and a lot of potential at the next level here locally.
Yeah, I know that from a professional sporting standpoint, a sport like baseball gets a lot of talent coming from the Caribbean, particularly the Dominican Republic and Cuba maybe. Do you foresee, based on the Jamaican athletic culture and the athletic acumen of the Jamaican athlete, that could actually in time be a case where Jamaica is providing the NFL with huge talent, as Cuba and the Dominican Republic are with the baseball?
So very, very much so. So I don't know if we'll ever get to the level of American Samoa, where we're literally 1 in 11 males play in the NFL. Yeah. But there's a lot of actually the current NFL players. Or I want to say it's a very high percentage. I want to say something crazy like 1 in 4 of the players is of Jamaican descent. Yeah. These two guys next to me are examples of both people that have played high-level football and are Jamaican.
Okay. So all right. So Dr. Mark, Jordan just said you're a Jamaican. So at what point did you leave Jamaica, and where did your interest in American football develop? Or how did it develop?
Yeah, thank you. At a very young age. It was a sport that I was always intrigued in. I grew up playing soccer, grew up playing cricket, but it was something about it that it was a sport that, made you have to bring something out internal to be able to even put on the shoulder pads and find out the big why. Why do you want to do this? But it became a force in my life very early, and I never looked back.
All right. At what age did you leave Jamaica?
I left here when I was very young, at 7 years old.
At 7 years old. So when you went to the USA, you mentioned you played cricket and soccer. Right. That would have been when you were in Jamaica.
Correct. So moving to America was a cultural infusion, and I had to make some immediate changes. Yes. Obviously, there is no cricket, and soccer might not be the most masculine sport that kids play there during my time and where I lived. So I decided to look at something that was more challenging, and immediately I fell in love.
Yeah. So Devon, where did your love for the American football develop?
Well, not in Jamaica, because we didn't see it down here, right? So when I went to America, I saw the game for the first time. I saw one guy boom and lick another one, I said, yeah. I want to play that game. So that was my introduction to it, you know. So and I went off what they call midget league football, liquor league football. And then start playing there, and by God's grace. And then a guy told me this, you know, when I coach, he said, listen, man, if you want to be great in this game, remember two things. Every player hit somebody. If you don't know what to do, just hit somebody.
Hit somebody. All right. It sounds to me as if you probably had gone to the USA a little later in your life than Mark did.
Well, I'm a Jamaican.
I know you are.
I'm a talk Jamaican, live Jamaican.
Yes.
Me love Jamaica, man. So.
Okay. Yeah. So what age you still in?
So my answer, so 11 years old.
11.
Yeah.
And how old are you now?
45, no, 55. 55
I
years
think
old.
we're going to have some fun here.
Yeah.
All right. So, Jordan, it's obvious that there is a growing interest in the sport in Jamaica. When the Super Bowl comes up, we can see people going to the sports bars and so on. And even on talk show radio, there's a lot of discussion about the Super Bowl. So there's obviously a lot more interest in American football now than it was like 20 years ago. And you're seeing an opportunity to tap into that.
Yeah, I would say 8 years ago when I came to Jamaica and I moved here initially, I had to find a place that was playing the Super Bowl. Like actually go to a bar and tell them to change the channel to the Super Bowl. To, as you know, like was it last month, a couple months ago, everyone had it on TV. Everyone had a big party. You know, even Brewery had a giant TV, Hope Zoo giant TV to watch the game. So the interest has definitely changed. And I think it is because it's just so prevalent on TV now. Right?
So do you foresee any difficulty in transforming the Jamaican athletes from the cultural, preference for football and cricket and maybe even basketball? Because I think generally speaking, basketball is probably a more popular sport by itself than American football. So do you foresee any difficulty making a huge impact and the kind of transition that you are looking for?
I don't think so. I think that football in America is a very competitive sport. Naturally, basketball is the most competitive because of the limited number of spots, right? What we've seen with, there's a lot of examples now in the NFL of players of, maybe Nigerian descent who came to America to play basketball, realized the competition's very stiff, quickly transitioned to football because of their size and speed, and are now in the NFL. I think that we have many cases of that here, especially like I was the one timing all the kids at the camp yesterday, and kids were literally with helmets and shoulder pads running 4 540s, which is insane. It's things you don't see every day, right? Which would probably be a natural 4.3, low 4.4 40, which is the kind of speed that you need to play at the next level, and you need to get noticed from a place like Jamaica for someone to take the chance at, going out and showing a college coach and them taking a chance on them. Naturally, on the same note, because basketball has more competition, college football now has 100 spots on the team, right? So, and those are all paid by the school. So the chances, one kid, them taking the chance on one kid is 1% compared to them taking the chance on a kid from here in basketball. That's 1 in 12, 1 in 15.
Can you talk quickly, Mark, on the appetite for NCAA coaches having an interest in players coming from the Caribbean?
Absolutely. So with the new NIL, name, image, and likeness, it has changed the landscape of recruitment. So many of the larger colleges, which were the Division I-A schools and even the 1AA schools, what they're doing is that they're farming the other schools' students. So they're not really looking for a lot of freshmen. And what has happened is the Division II schools have become the additional junior college schools. So there's a lot of opportunity for international players that can diversify their portfolio. One of the things people say is that speed kills, right? But speed will also win you $1 million, right? So, people diversify their portfolio by maybe running track, also playing football, another sport. They could be able to make themselves more attractive to earn a scholarship.
Yeah, and can you talk to us quickly about what you've seen so far this week and the interest in your program with the players interested to put themselves out there to be seen?
Yeah, well, I just came in. My flight was delayed and things like that, so I got in later. So
Mark and Jordan,
Yeah, absolutely. I think that there's an excitement here, a buzz in Jamaica that we really need to capitalize on. Globalization, there's no walls. There's no limitations. And a simple video of a phone of somebody's athletic ability could change their life forever. So, yeah, there's a great buzz. There's momentum building, and we're excited.
Yeah, Thursday morning you have this Mandeville event. Can you talk to us, Jordan, about that and what you're expecting from it?
So we have kids coming out in Mandeville. I think we can get the flyer out there to you guys and so you can post it on social media.
Yeah.
But what they are going to be doing is they are going to be learning the sport, learning the different positions, whether they want to learn wide receiver, linebacker, running back. And then we're also timing them to see like the speed that they have and their agility as well.
From your experience dealing with these Jamaican players, how quickly are they catching on to the sport?
I would defer to Mark.
Mark, yeah.
Oh man, I think it's amazing. I've done it for about 31 years and developing players. What I saw yesterday and a couple times that I've come here before, it's amazing. You have a foundation to work on. You can't recreate speed and you can't really recreate athletic ability, natural ability. And I think it's amazing. I think being of Jamaican descent, I feel as though, Jamaicans, we're just built different.
I'm not sure where he's at the moment, but the Jamaican Olympic discus champion, Roger Stoner, was going into a program for the NFL. I'm not sure if any of you guys have an update on how that's going, but he's sort of at a crossroads in his life. Imagine he wins an Olympic gold medal with discus, and instead of talking about repeating as Olympic champion in 4 years' time in Los Angeles, he's talking about a possible NFL career.
Yeah, so right now in the NFL season, it's the off season. Yeah. So he's obviously going to go to training camp, and then they'll decide if he makes the roster or not, and then from there possibly play in the games starting in September.
Yeah, and you would have had a look at him, very big guy.
Oh, he looked like a football player that was throwing the discus.
I think we'll probably get in touch with him in the coming week to hear exactly where he's at, because he was being serious. At first, when I heard it, I wasn't so sure how seriously to take him, but I realized that he was pretty serious. The Gridiron Bowl comes up on Saturday, inaugural staging of it. Maybe, Devon, you can take that one and talk to us about what you're expecting there, and especially what you see on Thursday morning in Mandeville, how that sets you up for your Saturday show.
Yeah, well, definitely. I mean, we want the youth to come out and show a good showing. That they come out there and they learn the game, learn the plays, and so that when we come out there on Saturday, they're able to execute on a higher level. So one thing we try to do too, and we talk about this morning, keep it simple. Just keep it simple so that they can. That are thinking so much as opposed to just reacting and being able to show their athletic prowess, so they can really exemplify what the talents that they have.
Do you find that, because in the Caribbean culture, a lot of teenagers see sport as a possible financial investment and rich rewards down the road if they make it to the level, and it's inspirational to them. Do you find that the amount of money that NFL players make is a good carrot dangling for the Jamaican teenagers as you talk to them?
Well, I would say for me personally, I mean, coming from Jamaica, that was an incentive. I mean, me wanting to play in the NFL was not just to be on TV. It's not gonna make some money, My family coming from Jamaica, we were lower middle class, if not lower class in America. So yeah, for these youngsters, I say dream big. I mean, obviously money is not the end all be all, but to dream big and that you can make it, and have that as a means to help your family to get out of, especially if you're in poverty.
Yeah. One of the things that is sometimes a hindrance to a sport catching on is the expense. I know that the American football, from the helmets to the pads and so on, it may be a little bit more expensive than some other sports. Is that so, first of all? And how would you, as the president, Jordan, tackle that hurdle about the expense of the sport?
Sure, of course. So that is something that we actually provide for the schools at this point. So if they want to play, we can kit them out, and they take it from there. And just to interject on the last point, I think one of the really interesting things about American football that might not be very well known is a lot of the stadiums are over 100,000 people. College football is a very popular sport. And unlike other sports, kids aren't necessarily, because like Mark mentioned, name, image, likeness deals, going to have to wait to go pro to see that financial gain. Right? There's kids making millions of dollars while playing in college.
Yeah, well, there was an NCAA change in the rules regarding payment, which I guess is a positive move for the NCAA system.
Exactly.
And sports stars can actually feel valued and not feel used, because there's money in it for them.
Much earlier.
Yeah, much earlier, yeah. Gentlemen, thanks for stopping by. We hope that your Gridiron on Saturday is brilliant at the Jamaica College and the draft on Saturday night at the auditorium. I hope things work well, and I hope the love for the NFL continues to grow in Jamaica, and that you get some young Caribbean stars coming up in the NFL in a more sustained way than we have seen in the past.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, gentlemen. And we'll be back with more on the SportsMax Zone after this.